Hey guys, I really hate to say this, but I think we're living in a day and age where you need to have some type of recording device in your car, whether it's an overaggressive police officer, whether it's pleading your case in court, or if someone tries to break into your car. You need to have something recording your vehicle at all times. Now, did you know that in Russia, over 60% of vehicles already have some type of recording device built into it? Because Russia crazy? But beyond Russia being a little bit crazy, I think they're onto something here. I think it is really important to have something in your car recording at all times, and the makers of PAPAGO believe the same thing. Well, they're actually really popular in Russia already as far as their dash cams, but they're starting to bring stuff stateside. So today, I had the opportunity to review the PAPAGO GoSafe 520. On board, there are a number of buttons, ports, and slits. On top, you'll find the power switch and a button for emergency recording, the back clip to connect it to the mount, and the mini USB interface. On the right side, you'll find the micro SD card slot, and below that is the HDMI interface. On the back of the device is where you have your mode keys and an LED indicator, also the 3-inch LCD display. The way the PAPAGO works is extremely simple. It's a camera capable of recording and shooting up to 2K resolution at 30 frames per second. You can also get 60 frames per second at 720p resolution. It uses a micro SD card, which gets you around 240 minutes on a 32GB card at 2K resolution. You can also set it up to do loop recording, which means every 5 minutes it will create a new video file, and it keeps doing that until the card is full. Now, if something happens within that driving period, you can press the emergency button, and what that will do is that will lock that clip so then they won't get overwritten. It's a really nice feature to have. Now, there are tons of other shooting modes. You can have things like photo mode, which snaps photos as you drive, and also there's an HDR mode, which records video in 2 video layers and puts it into 1 video. And the car experience is actually pretty good. The clamp holds it very well to my windshield, and installation is pretty simple. Just put it on the hooks and twist. And that makes it very simple to take it out of your windshield when you're done out of the car, because you don't want that thing hanging down, especially if you're in a sketchy area. Now, when the unit turns on, it plays this sort of chiming song to let you know it's on, and also makes another sound when it's recording. Pretty much this unit makes sounds whenever something happens. Even if it's too dim to remind you to turn your headlights on, it makes a chiming sound. Now, this chiming sound may come off a little juvenile, sounds like a children's toy, but this is no children's toy. Now, getting the files onto your computer is pretty simple. You pop the SD card out, and then you can plug it into a SD card reader, or you can actually plug it into your computer directly. You have 2 options. Now, the video quality is pretty good. I gotta admit though, I was a bit worried when I was viewing it on my screen, because the screen is such a really bad screen that these video clips don't do justice on the screen. On the screen, it wasn't really sharp, and sometimes it lacked detail, but once I got it on my computer, it looked a whole lot better, and the quality of the video really surprised me. Although I don't have a clip for it right now, night mode looks really good as long as you have a decent pair of headlights. Now, there's 2 different shooting modes within 2K resolution. So there's that wide angle that I prefer, you can see almost all the road, and there's more of a cropped 2K resolution, which is more square than letterbox, which it really doesn't matter which one you use. I like the landscape mode the best though. And of course, you can browse through the files just using the camera, go to the play settings and go through the files that way too. So the camera is really like a camera. I mean, you can go through files, you can delete files, you can manage the files, you can save files so they don't get deleted. There's a number of things you can do right inside the actual unit. It also has assisted driving mode. So for example, you could turn on the G-Shock sensor. So if you hit the brakes really hard, it actually starts recording that part, and it also saves that part too to prevent it from getting deleted. So for example, if you get into a car accident and you weren't recording, what it would do is it'll turn on record and get that part and save that incident when you got into your accident. Also, if you have it hardwired into your car, not just running off battery, then you can set it up to use motion sensors. So when something moves around your car and it's not recording, it'll actually turn on the recording feature and start recording something, which is a nice feature to have. It's sort of like always listening, I guess. It's always recording and always watching. So when something happens, it could then kick on and to fully record. I really equate it to sort of like a DVR. It's always running in the background. Now when it comes to battery life, you're not gonna have a really good battery life experience. I'm looking at around 1 to 2.5 hours depending on how often I record. It does give you a long enough car charger so you can actually run it through your panels and down to where you need to run it to. But beyond that, you should have it plugged in at all times. Now beyond the first couple things that I mentioned as far as driver assistance, it also does a really unique thing that if you're in stop and go traffic, when the car ahead of you goes, it makes a chiming sound. Now I found that thing to be really hit or miss, so I ended up turning it off. I found that if there's a car to the right of me just pulling up, or if a car to the left of me was in that left-hand turn lane, then it would kick on and make that chiming sound incorrectly. Now my 32GB card gave me about 4 hours of HD recording, and I think that is plenty. That could cover a decent road trip or what have you. So as far as size, I do recommend going to 32GB, or if you go to 64, then obviously you get 8 hours of recording. Now there are a few cons that I did come up with my time there was a couple of cons that I could come up with when I had this in my car for about a week. The first con is actually these chiming sounds. They're really annoying and I can't find a way to turn them off. But every little action has a chime. When your lights are off, it chimes. When you turn it on, it chimes. When it records, it chimes. When it stops recording, it chimes. Just every little action you have gives it a chime, and it's just really annoying. And the chimes actually sounds like a children's lullaby, which I'm not really a big fan of. Now there's one more thing that I'm really not a fan of, is that it has the PAPAGO logo always in the video. It's kind of one of those annoying things that it's really tough to get rid of. Now to get rid of it, you can go into a text file and remove it from there, but that's not something that the average person can do. I would hope for like a feature or an option to just turn that off in the system. Overall guys, the PAPAGO GoSafe 520 is a really good dash cam. Now this is my first dash cam I ever had before, so I really can't compare it to many other, but if you look at the review online on Amazon, it has really high reviews. I just wish it had a better built-in battery with it, but once you hardwire it into your car, it's really good. And I do feel a lot safer with it in my car, knowing that my interactions are being recorded automatically, and also it has other built-in features like G-Shock sensor and all that stuff that can make things a lot safer, and I think that's the goal. Also, 2K resolution is really good. You can crop in on video after you already have it on your device, so I'm a big fan of that. As always guys, this is Kevin the Tech Ninja. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to my channel for more great videos and giveaways. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.